Big stretch, everybody. Good morning. Hello. Hello. Good day. How is everybody today? I hope you're keeping well. It's time for a pick three. We've all been missing our sports, and the other day in a meditation, I was giving myself, my higher self, was giving my everyday self a little talking to, and I found myself saying, "Righto, coach." And it came to me, and I thought, there's my next pick three. We need to get in and have a little talking to by the coach, the universal coach. So let's do a pick three. And I'm going to quick go over the pick threes. If you've never been to one before, welcome, welcome. You are never going to get this 40 minutes back. So, and who knows, maybe you'll have enough fun, you'll come back again. Uh, what's going to happen is I'm going to throw three tarot readings, mini ones, and the idea being that something's going to call you to one of these readings. It could be the actual little icon, it could be how I describe it, it could be, who knows, some color, a number, just a feeling. So just let your intuition play along and just let your intuition take you. And I will deliver some kind of message from the universe. I have no idea where it's going to go. I'm just the reader of the cards, and lots of times I really feel the messages apply to me. And it isn't so much hocus pocus as it is psychological. We are creatures of habit. If what we have done in the past has worked, we will keep hammering away at it thinking it worked before. So this is sort of one of those crazy chances to think outside the box. Have somebody you don't know say something to you that causes you to stop and reflect and think and maybe switch teams, switch sports, pivot, pass the ball. I don't know. I should warn you, I am a great cheerleader. I love to sit in the stands at live sporting events and just cheer, mostly because it gets all your frustrations out. But what I know about the technical parts of the games and the theories and the strategies, you could probably put in a teacup and still have room for a full cup of tea. So please don't hold that against me. Today we're going to talk about football, baseball, and basketball. And I had to represent our national pastime, hockey. And on the card front, we'll be using my old workhorse, my senior deck, the Rider-Waite as our main cards. And then we'll clarify salt and pepper season. Tint the message with my Italian deck. Ooh la la. Now, there's some rules to pick three. First of all, you need to play along. You're a big part of this. Second of all, I'm never going to stop talking. So if that's what you're waiting for, haha, you will continue to wait. And believe me, I'm in on this ride like you. I have no idea where this is going when I start. And I just sort of let the spirit move me. You must be comfortable and you can't be busy. This won't work if you're not sort of there and present. So if you're at work, stop and save it for after work. If you're home, make sure you go and get something comfortable, something stretchy, preferably some kind of flannelly, pajama-y, warm, snuggly thing. And then, of course, you need something to sip. So today, I'm having Diet Pop. Woohoo! But shout out, this is my football team. If you're an American, you have a team that wears, their fans wear cheese on their heads. This team, Saskatchewan Roughriders, watermelons, that's their fan favorite, watermelon. And whether you follow football or not, whether you like the riders or not, everybody loves their fans. They are the most devoted fans and good-natured people and so loyal. So that's probably what I admire most about the Rough Riders, is not perhaps them as their fans. It's just fun. And they're everywhere. You'll see Rough Rider stuff everywhere. So pause now if you need to go get something to sip, or you need to get something comfy on, and come on back. I'm going to shuffle some cards, and as I do, I'll explain the rest of the rules, and away we go. Come on down. There. So yeah, I was in a meditation, and after I was done, I said, "Right-o, coach," and I thought, there it is. That's what we all need. We all need to go back at halftime and have a word in the dressing room with the coach. We need to reacquaint ourselves with our game plan. We need to maybe have someone critique our performance out there in the field, and maybe give us a couple of tips. Maybe there's a play that we can't see because we're in the thick of it. We're on the line of scrimmage. I don't know what that is, but I've heard it. Yeah, we can't see the forest for the trees. So when I do the pick three, I will throw a hand down for each number. I'll put a little description. I'll talk about what I'm feeling, and then something will twig you. You'll choose a reading, and then I'll put up on the screen the timestamp, and you can fast forward to that. That way, if you want to revisit this, or maybe there's a couple of you and you're having, I don't know, glass of wine and a giggle, everybody can pick a different one, or you can revisit this later. There's no time limits on these things. They never get old or out of date, because you need to hear what you need to hear when you need to hear it. So there's no right or wrongs. And if you get nothing out of it, you sat still for 40 minutes and didn't think about the state of the world. Oopsie. Oopsie. Well, look at that. We are going to get a good reading. And why? Because we have a duplicate right here. This jumped out, the Magician, and on the bottom of the deck is the Magician. Who's the Magician? The tarot cards tell the journey of the Fool, 0. That the Fool's number is 0. You can see this is number 1. This is the first person that the Fool meets. Maybe it's a God force, but it's the Magician supplies all that you will need to be successful. He has the Cup, which is emotions. He has the Pentacle, which is the resources, that, the money. The Sword is the analytical, the brain power, the ability to plan and sometimes scheme. And a wand represents the ability to physically make it happen, to manifest it, not just talk about it and plan about it and wish and dream about it. The infinity sign. These tools are we're blessed with them from the start, and we will have them for all in eternity. So never feel that you're without, you can't cope, that you're missing something to get to an answer. You're not. You've just lost track of it, or it's still, the light hasn't hit it yet. You just haven't laid your hands on it. It's there. So the Magician is a little bit like a coach. He says, you have everything you need, and here's how we're gonna, get a bigger bang for our buck on our defense or our offense or our whatever fences they have. So great. 2 coaches came up. Woohoo! Interesting. Oop. I'm going to give that another shuffle and just bury those guys in there. In the meantime, let's talk a little bit about football. What is football? Oh, if I had to sort of describe the feeling of football, what would it be? I would say it's a younger man's sport or woman. I know women play it now too, because it's very rough and tumble. Maybe you're at the start of a career, maybe you're at the start of a career. Who knows? But you're young at where you're at. You're very young, and it's physical. It's a bit rough and tumble. I mean, you have to roll up your sleeves sometimes and dig in. There is a strategy, but you're not alone as a rule. The coach is connected by headphones. You get in a huddle. The whole team works to get that ball forward. So you're not a solo player very often, unless you're the guy who kicks it or catches it. Most of the players work to support the one superstar guy, the quarterback guy, or whatever his name is. See, I told you. Don't know much. We had a couple of jumpers there, and I just threw them up, and that's where they landed, so that's where they're going to stay. So baseball to me is a gentleman's sport because it's so slow. It's very laid back, other than people arguing with the umpire and kicking dirt on their shoes. It's quite genteel, and you go. There's an ambiance, right? The guy selling the peanuts and the cold beer and the sunshine. Even if you're listening at home on the radio, you're probably in the yard. Baseball is a feeling. It's not just a sport. So maybe it's a way of life. Maybe that's the kind of life you want, that relaxed, long-term goal setting. A little bit slower, thoughtfuler, and from time to time you're called to be responsible for your performance. You stand at the plate and the ball comes directly at you. So you're a little more responsible. You're a little more cause and effect than, say, here, where your objective is to stop their line. I know this is painful. Basketball. Hey, did you know a Canadian invented basketball? He didn't invent it in Canada, though. He invented it in America. So, in the States, as we say, the States. I think that comes from the English, the States. I don't think Americans say the States. It's one of those weird things like couch and sofa. I've never referred to a couch as a sofa, and I've said the word couch to an American who's like, what the heck is a couch? It's a sofa. I digressed. Anyways, number 3, basketball. Has the sheen, the patina of a gentleman's game because there isn't as much argy-bargy as in the football, but it's fast. It moves. Also, you can be a solo type superstar. It's you in that net when you have the ball in your hand. The interesting thing about the basketball is it should teach us to believe in miracles, because I bet everybody's seen somebody throw a basketball from an outrageous distance, watch it hang in the air, and then just plop through that net like nobody's business. So experienced basketball players know you take the shot. Take the shot. So there's my description, feeble as it may be, about these sports. Some people, their lifestyles. So here we go. Let's make some cards get down on this. I imagine hardcore sports people have been a little depressed with how it's all been going. This, mind you, everybody's depressed about everything. That's one thing the old pandemic has taught everybody. We need to get in the team and go at this like a team, because this little virus it doesn't play by any rules, and it's frustrating everybody. So rest easy. If you are feeling shack wacky, so am I. Now, there's no rhyme or reason to what I'm doing here. I just fan the cards out and just pull. I'm going to pull 3 cards. Well, you never know. I may pull more. You can see already. The idea is about 3 cards per read. And we're going to just sort of see what they say, read it out, let you figure out what it means to you. Just listen to it today. Don't try and make it fit. Give it a chance to steep, to percolate. And you may find that, surprise, surprise, you got a message out of this. And like I said, even if you feel clearly that you understand the message today, wow, these cards are hopping. Even if you think you understand these cards today and you're sure you know the message, don't file it all away. Just let it roll around in the back of your mind. Might be an opportunity for some expansion or growth. All right. Ooh. Very interesting hop-ups here. If they hop up face up, I will read them. Look at this. Wow. So what just popped up? The Queen of Cups. Take a little look at her. She is she's a bit of a cool cucumber. You would think with cups, which is emotion and heart and sort of that gushy, soft center, the lovey-dovey part of you, you would think Queen of Hearts, right? Nope. The old Queen of Cups is a funny lady. She is full of emotion, but she keeps a lid on it. So she's a bit of a cool cucumber, but she is very emotional underneath it. And sometimes when she takes that lid off, what happens is she may be over excited and sort of react. Her reaction is overkill. It's because she keeps a lid on it so much of the time that she doesn't have a lot of experience sort of eking her emotion out. It comes out in a flood. It also makes her a little bit tight-lipped, a little bit brittle. Sometimes she's kind of one of those tough moms, not a smiley, lovey mom type woman or a smiley woman. Not necessarily a female, but for me, females usually are more emotional than males anyway. So that's the secret. Whoever this personality is, you'll recognize them by they don't wear their heart on their sleeve. And on the bottom of the cup is the Empress. She is more like what you would think of the Queen of Cups. She's a more mature energy, but she talks about fertility. And in this case, this lady is expecting. So abundance, fertility, sort of the new. And beside her is the Knight of Cups. He's my rose-colored glasses. He's a romantic dreamer. He is a lovely spirit in that always looks on the bright side, but sometimes you have to tackle somebody, and that's not his game at all. Wow, good. So, are you a number 1? Are you football? Are you hands-on? Are you in the lineup ready to do what it takes to support your quarterback? Are you prepared to get physical? Roll up your sleeves and do it? Is that you, number 1? Number two, are you a little more of a thinker? Are you more prone to sit back and see how things shape up? Do you play the long game? You're not so quick to, you don't worry if things aren't going your way at the start. There's lots of game to play. Are you a basketball person? Are you somebody who realizes that you are part of a team, but your skills have to be crazy, mad, awesome, because every now and then an opportunity comes for you to shoot from the center and take your team to a victory. So you're somebody who's a risk taker, and has and understands that their qualifications is what's the old expression? Your weakest player is the strength of your team. So you realize how important your development is for the good of the team. Wow. Don't know if any of that made sense, but it kind of did in my head. All right, now what do I got to do? I haven't done one in a while. I got to think. Oh, so now I'm going to shoo you away. So if you all just take a breath with me, I'm going to put the times up for the football, the baseball, and the basketball. If you're the football, just stay with me now. If you're baseball or basketball, off you go. Here's your timestamp, and I'll see you on the flip side. All right, number one football people, are you ready? Oh, take a breath. Shake off the day. Isn't that what they say? Hey, 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 in their little huddly thing? All my football friends are like rolling their eyes now and like, oh, Abby, be quiet. Ready? Here we go. You had, ooh, wow, wowzers. So the main reading of the card is two swords and a cup. The King of Swords, the Nine of Swords, and the Eight of Cups. Very interesting. The King of Swords is a thinker guy or gal. This person is somebody you would seek out for advice. He's very sharp-tongued. He's very mentally spry. He's quick. He doesn't suffer fools lightly. And as a matter of fact, that old sword he has, he can think of it as a sharp tongue. He can cut both ways. He can also sort of drill down, cut through the bullshit and get right to what is the actual problem here. You know, if you take all this emotion and your feelings and their feelings and everybody's feelings and just what is the actual problem here? This is the guy. He will drill right down, figure it out, and sometimes it's so easy after you take all that crap away. And maybe you have something that's been bothering you. This is anxiety, sleepless. This is that busy mind. This is when we fall victim to our own mind, that constant loop that it just springs, and it happens every time you make space in your mind. This thought will get in. That's why it shows the waking up in the night, because you're not even safe when you close your eyes and go to sleep. If for some chance you happen to roll over and wake up, you're right there. You start running that loop. Maybe because you're in a position where you need to be strategic. Something's wearing on you, though. Eight of Cups. Eight of Cups talks about an emotional, maybe even a spiritual journey. To me, it's a growth situation. This is somebody who's had to clean up some stuff and stuff that was very important to him emotionally. So he's lined up all his P's and Q's there, and what he sort of understands what he has going forward, and he's striking off. He's going to take a little journey and see some new country, perhaps learn something, get a different perspective, another point of view. And it sort of is an alone time. You're going to leave a belief behind, and you're not sure where you're going yet. You don't know where you're going to wind up, but there is a journey that you're going to work through emotionally. So you've been hard at the mind stuff, this plotting, planning, scheming, trying to make a plan work, trying to get a plan, leaving you somewhat frustrated and anxious. It's causing you to sort of pull your own stuff together and take an inventory, and then sort of set out to see how you can regroup things. What's your next best move? You have a duplicate here. On your clarifiers, the things we use to just sort of fill in some of the color is, again, this Eight of Cups. Eight of Cups. So here you are again. This message tells me, you need to take stock. You're not even sure what you've got. You've got so much piled up that it's probably overwhelming. It's probably a case of, where do you start? Just start where you stand. Just stop and pick up the first thing, sort of give it a good look over, even if it's an idea, even if it's a suggestion. Just give it a look over and set it down. Pick up the next thing, give it a look over. And what's going to happen as you start to accurately see things lined up against each other, it'll be easier to recognize the value of something that you thought you couldn't live without. When you see what other gems is buried in there, you can probably get rid of that. Whew, and what a relief to get rid of even an old thought pattern, let alone stuff. You know how good you feel when you finally get all that stuff down to goodwill. Well, sometimes we carry a lot of junk, old mindsets that, why do we believe them? Because that's how it's always been. Well, in this day of technology and stuff, who needs to think like that? Every phone that comes out does something. I mean, soon it's going to do brain surgery. So why cling to these old things? Some have value. There's no doubt about it. But that's why you line them up. Take an inventory. Give each thought that springs into your mind a little, turn it around. Give it a little look. Hold it up to the light. Because the devil's in the details. And I wonder if that's not the whole ball of wax here. The devil's in the details. Maybe that's why you're waking up and thinking, I can't forget that. Ooh, ah. Well, in the old days, I used to keep a little scrap of paper and a pen, because I was forever waking up in the night needing to think, oh God, I can't forget that. And then I'd lay there half awake for the rest of the night going, can't forget that. So one day I just thought, and I wrote it down, just one word, so I would remember. And that saved me a few sleepless nights. So maybe you're struggling to keep a lot of details, to keep a lot of balls in the air. And really, the smart money would say, instead of juggling all this junk, let's take it down, evaluate it, and make an inventory. And some of these balls you can let go. Prioritize. There's no need to waste a bunch of energy or resources on something that is literally the only reason you're doing it is it's just how it's always been done. So you are going to get some growth. And are you ever going to get some growth? And again, the devil's in the details. Do look at all the bits and bobs. Like I said, sometimes you're sure this is the answer. And when you really stop and try and fit it in, maybe it was on sale, so you thought y'all make do. Or maybe it's somebody whose bad behavior you'll accept because it's just easier than to get into it with them. Maybe it's you bite your lip at work and don't put your ideas forth. There's a number of reasons why we make old decisions that aren't in our best interest anymore. That's how you get into trouble. Don't get tied to stuff. That's what these people are. They're tied to something. And I think it's tied to old belief systems. Over. Time to, for whatever was coming in your life, you need to clearly understand what you have, what's working, what's not, and then off you go. And you don't have to worry about what you left behind that you're going to return to, because you sorted it all out. Nothing's going to spoil. And take some time, do some reflection. Actually, Eight of Cups is a wonderful card. It really is. Are you friends with somebody who they're like an energy vampire? Do you have a friend like that? That you see they're calling and I'll just let it go through. I won't pick up just yet. Or you think, okay, I'm going to call tomorrow morning, and you brace yourself for that call. That's what I'm talking about. There's some old wood, dead wood, you can call here. And maybe you feel, I don't know, some emotional attachment to somebody who really, really is detrimental to your spot in life right now. Doesn't mean you have to cut them out totally, but you need to stop giving so much of your energy away. Don't be tied to anything. You don't owe anybody anything. You have a responsibility to do the best you can and find happiness. But for example, let's say you have parents who are driven and you're not that. You want to do something like teach, or you're not going to make $1 million, but if you're called to it, you're going to be really good at it. You're going to make a lot of change in the world by touching young people when they're most they're like sponges, and you implant the service attitude so maybe it's something like that. Maybe it's you've always wanted to do this, but you weren't raised in that. You were raised in a go-get-em household where the money, honey, is how you define success. Whatever it is, you're going to do some thinking. Find out what's important to you. Unchain yourself. Wow. Yes. Somebody's going to say something. It might smart. But if you listen, he's going to cut right to the quick. I keep saying he, don't pay that any mind. It's them, she. And may actually hit the nerve. It'll be, wow, oh. What that's going to do is spawn this reflective state for you. And maybe you want to go outside and take a walk while you think. Because there's this old belief system that you're chained to in some aspects of your life. You need to just ditch it. It's not worth it. What served you at some point, you're now serving it. So there you go. Watch for this energy and take that time do that inventory of what is really important to you and cut out those energy sucking people that just drain you and you just can't get away fast enough. They don't help you at all. You don't have to be cruel, you don't have to be anything. You just have to stop giving your energy to them. And it's funny, people like that, when they can't feed off of you anymore, they seem to find other people who will entertain them for hours on end. And you know what I'm talking about. So, what a wonderful thing going into a new year. Get it done before New Year's so that maybe you'll find a resolution, something to shoot for in 2021. And 2021 can't get here fast enough, can it? Oh my goodness. Anyway, see you later, number ones. You take good care. Bye. Hi, number twos. Welcome back. Let's see what you got here. You got the Four of Swords, Eight of Wands, Nine of Wands. Oh, you have a reversal. The Hermit and the Knave of Pentacles. Interesting. All right. So let's come on up and talk about what the message is for you. How you doing? I have to have a little sip. Number ones was very exciting. So baseball, yeah. I never had, my dad didn't watch baseball. He watched hockey and football. So I was not up on the joys of baseball, but my partner was raised, his mom was a big Toronto Blue Jays fan, and so Saturdays while I'm working in the yard, he puts a baseball game on the radio, and it has a very meditative state to it. The guys who call the game, I noticed they all sort of have this sing-song patter that they use. Lots of time between plays, and then it's very exciting, and then it slows down, and you can go get a hot dog, and there's time to call the guy over for a nice cold beer. It's a sunny day as a rule. There's so much that goes into it. The atmosphere of the baseball game is as important as the actual game, I have discovered. And so with that in mind, where you're literally in the stew, you're in the soup, you're immersed in this right now, because baseball is it's a genre. So, Four of Swords, rest and recuperation. Eight of Wands, all systems are go. And Nine of Wands, home from the fight, prepared for whatever's to come. So, this is the Knight. He has been in battle. Maybe you've had a rough year. Well, haven't we all had a rough year? But maybe you've had a rough couple of years, or things are not steady Eddie in your life, or you're being faced with something you can't, that you fight against. Well, you've been sent home. You're in the penalty box. Oh, baseball doesn't have penalty boxes. What do they have? You're in the dugout right now, and it's not like the game's over, but you've been sidelined. A chance for you to rest and recuperate. Maybe heal up a bit. Maybe learn a new skill. Like I say, the game isn't over, but you've been benched. Maybe even for your own good. I really am feeling right now, you didn't want this suspension of activity. But it's for your own good, I think, is more like it. It's been very hectic, very busy, because wands are activity. And things have probably been at quite a pace. This talks about just literally, you can see all the spears are airborne. Like everything is in motion, right? Doot, 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 doot. I mean, it has been hectic. It's a going. It hasn't been bad, just very busy. You'll probably feel like this by the end of the day, sort of like, okay, here we go. I gotta limp into my bed, and tomorrow's gonna be just as hectic, but you're coping. You're getting a little battered, you're getting a little frayed. You might need a day to regroup. You probably are needing this. You probably need this more than you know, because you're starting to get a little frayed around the edges, because it's been busy and hectic. The Two of Pentacles talks about perseverance, and about perseverance in relation to things that benefit you. Could be money, could be an opportunity to make money, or maybe it's an opportunity to get into a whole new circle of people who will put you in a position to increase, your income. But the message from the Knave is practice and perseverance. So while you're feeling the strain of every day on the breach, every day having to sort of basically defend the line, you need to just realize that this is all practice. This is all building character. This is all going to benefit you at some point. If you can't see the benefit right now, the life lessons you're learning will come to you. And just keep persevering. The reason there's expressions like, when you get bucked off the horse, get back up on the horse, the reason they're there is because they're true. So persevere. Now, what about this reversal? The reversal was the Hermit. The Hermit is, well, I always say this, is one of my favorite cards. Why? Because he has the light. The light is the understanding. The light is I can build a fire with, by rubbing two sticks together. Boy, oh boy, if you can make a fire with two sticks and you don't need matches, it changes the whole landscape of your universe, doesn't it? So if you control the light of your life, people will often say, oh, my daughter or my son, they're the light of my life. Well, cut it out, because you need to control the light of your life, because the first time that person disappoints you, they'll snuff out your light. They'll take your joy away. So that's why I love this card so much. It's because it's the first step. When you finally figure this out, when you finally get it, wow, things change. Because now you're in control of what we're all after. Happiness, contentment, ease, joy. When you realize it's your reaction to life that will either give you joy or frustration, will either give you a reason to celebrate or to grieve. Like, it's you who decides. So when he's upside down, that tells me you're not. You've kind of got on the wrong bus, the wrong train. You're going away from finding your light right now. Maybe that's why you're struggling so hard. Maybe that's why you've been put back in the dugout, because maybe you're swinging so hard at that ball that you're almost reckless at it, right? Maybe what you need to do is settle down and wait for the proper pitch, and then swing. And you hear that crack, because you can even hear it on the radio. And for somebody who this is new to me, you hear that, and then you hear the crowd, and you can just see this thing sailing in the sky around the bases. So I think you're leaning into the pitches. Stop. Let it come across home plate. Let that pitch set up so that you get all the loft, all the distance so you can clear all the bases. So while you're on your timeout, know that all of these lessons that you've learned, they're creating character in you. They're giving you knowledge that will serve you for the rest of your life. And I think the biggest part of this is perseverance. You just have to keep at it until the right pitch comes across the plate. And it will. Things are happening in your life. But you're so caught up in it, you're missing the opportunity to get that lamp. Wow. This is big. If you can stop, drop, and just try to reorientate yourself to get this upright and start that quest for the lamp, I think these are great cards. Take advantage of your time in the dugout. Do a little reflection. You're missing a really big opportunity here. Bye, number twos. Thanks for stopping. Welcome back, number threes, my little basketball players. You are, let's face it, basketball is a game of some finesse. And some of the players are, they do these amazing, I don't want to call them tricks because they're not tricks, they're skill. But there is some finesse to it. It's almost a little bit of a higher skill than just putting your shoulder into somebody and charging. Oh, there's Amiga. You can hear her jingle jangle of her collar. Let's see what your cards are. Two of coins. Oh, you got a reversal. The King of Swords. Three of Cups. Judgment. Ace of Swords. And Two of Wands. You had a few extras in there. Well, now, let's see what this all means. Come on up. Ooh, big stretch again. There you go. So, very interesting bunch of cards here. I gotta look. You have two twos. Twos are always a juggling, a waiting, a suspension. Things are in the air. So you have two twos. You have the Ace of Swords and the King of Swords. You have a Celebration Cup, and then you have a big serious card. I told you, or I may have told you at some point about there's two decks in the Tarot deck. One is called the Major and one is called the Minor. Minor talks about everyday kind of work-a-day stuff. Major talks about life-changing events, the big stuff, right? You have a big card here, Judgment. Judgment is the second to last card that we would in the journey of the tarot that we would encounter, and this talks about getting so close to the answer. This is the I get it. This is the I can't believe I didn't pick up on that. It's all so clear all of a sudden. Oh, I understand. It makes perfect sense now. It's that literally the penny is going to drop. Something that has never sat right with you for all and your existence is going to come into focus here. Maybe that's what these number twos, the suspension has been. Maybe you just haven't had a good handle on something, a belief or a thought process or an attitude. And so it's always been in this bit of suspension. You're never making any headway with it. Well, now you're gonna, because here it comes. I think you might learn this in a bit of a shocking way. I think it's going to be literally like a light switch. It's not going to be this slow realization. It's not going to be a dawning of knowledge here. No, it's going to be crack like a lightning. Because the Ace of Swords is a pivot. Think of that sword. It's going to go wing into the earth. And then you can't move forward or in any direction. All you can do is spin, which means you're going to change. You're almost going to do a 180. You're going to have a complete change of belief of something is going to, you're going to come to the realization, and wow, what a realization. That is going to have life altering consequences for you. And the Ace of Swords is not a new direction. This isn't you're reinventing the mousetrap here. This is something that will always be a constant in your life, but you're going to have a change of focus. You're going to pivot. Why? Because somebody's going to knock your socks off, or in this case, knock your head off. The King of Swords, it isn't a masculine or feminine in energy necessarily. What it is it's somebody who's in control. This is somebody you'd go to for advice. This is somebody who's very analytical, very clever. When they're not in a good place in their life, they can be sneaky. I call it the office politics and the in-laws card. You never know quite what the real status is. But this guy, you would probably walk on eggshells with them around this energy, because you can see they do not suffer a fool lately. And not necessarily lop off your head, but that tongue of theirs is so razor sharp. They may be telling you the truth, a truth you need to hear, but holy man, they're going to draw blood. They're going to stop you in your tracks. The good news is this card was reversed, so you are going to escape. You're going to dodge a little bit of a bullet. So perhaps, let's use a workplace analogy. So perhaps at work, everybody's been sort of coasting along, doing their thing, getting stuff done, but not a lot of progress. You know, we're all just treading water is the feeling. And the boss comes out and lowers the boom and says, enough. This has to get done. If this was upright, I'd have said your head's on the block, but I'm going to say you're part of a group, or you're part of an attitude. So you're not going to personally lose anything, but you're going to get, it's going to smart. This is going to upset you. Maybe it's going to upset you because you're going to feel a little bit foolish. Maybe that's why you're going to be upset by this knowledge you're about to acquire. That's going to cause you to do a big reversal, not even a reversal, a pivot. There's no going back. But it's good because this is judgment. Something's going to change how you feel about something, and that's great because the next card is the attainment, is the manifest. So maybe once you finally clean out this last bit of nonsense that you've hung on to for who knows why, traditions, who knows why we do it, but you're gonna let it go. Somebody's gonna cause you to let it go, and maybe that behavior will be upsetting enough to you that you're willing to put it down. The good news is, what does it bring you? It brings you a celebration. 3 women celebrating. To me, this is the co-workers going for a drink after work. This is team building. This is those kinds of happy, it talks about, it's not a parade and a clown car and a band and cheerleaders. It's just a nice, mellow, get along, celebrate small victories, and everybody pulls together. So whatever the attitude is that you're losing, what you're going to benefit is it's going to bring you closer to a different group. There's no sharp tongues in there, but they have an understanding, and you can see everybody has a cup. Everybody's involved. There's no leaders, there's no superstars. This is a chance for everybody to do their best and let their light shine. Maybe you've had a more of a selfish bent of late. Maybe it's you've been worried about yourself. Well, you could thank your lucky stars that you aren't being signaled out, because this is Marie Antoinette. Is that who got it? No, Anne Boleyn. This is an Anne Boleyn moment. You don't want your king to be so frustrated with you that you lose your head. No, see the sword, recognize it, learn from it, pivot, take that information that you get and start applying it every time you make decisions. And you will see some value. And it isn't going to be da 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 da. It's just going to be a happier life. It is. It's just going to be every day's a little tiny celebration. Wow. So yeah, you've been a little bit stuck. Somebody that you respect, an energy that you respect, is not happy, and that is going to bring something into focus for you, cause you to reevaluate, make a pivot, make a turn, and that's going to start affecting your judgment, and then that in turn is going to just take the edge off. It's going to give you a fuller, juicier, happier life. But right now you're kind of stalled, and watch for that sharp-tongued analytical energy around you. And know that it's not personal against you, but you're part of the problem. So when the opportunity comes to pivot, pivot and become part of the solution. Yeah. Wow. Interesting. Well, everybody, thanks for stopping. I'll see you guys in a month or so. Take good care. Me and the Mexicans, we're out. And the mouse. Here we go. I'm getting better.